My mother couldn't come to trade, so I came instead, said the little alien girl to the human. Humans had been coming here for years, exchanging goods, ideas, and sometimes simple stories with the inhabitants of nearby star systems. Most traders were adults, experienced negotiators who knew the rhythms of commerce and the value of patience. Eli, a young human trader with a mop of brown hair and curious green eyes, had spent most of his life in bustling markets on Earth. Yet, nothing could have prepared him for the visitor who would arrive that morning. The docking bay doors opened with a soft hiss, revealing a small shuttle that looked far too delicate to carry anything substantial. A figure emerged, barely a meter tall, with skin that shimmered faintly in the sunlight, like a pearl underwater. Eli blinked, thinking he must be mistaken. He had expected an adult merchant, perhaps someone stern and businesslike. Instead, a little girl stepped down, her eyes wide with curiosity and a smile that radiated innocence. My mother couldn't come to trade, so I came instead, she said in perfect galactic common, her voice soft but clear. Eli froze, unsure of how to respond. The girl's words were polite, but there was a confidence behind them that made him pause. She carried a small bag slung over her shoulder, lightweight and glowing faintly. It seemed almost alive, humming with quiet energy. "Oh, welcome," Eli said finally, recovering from his surprise. "I'm Eli, you must be Lyra." Lyra nodded. "Yes, my mother is busy on Vierlia. She asked me to deliver these items to your outpost." She held the bag out gently, her fingers delicate and precise. Eli noticed her hands were surprisingly strong, holding the glowing bag with ease. Eli stepped forward and opened the bag carefully. Inside were several small, unusual objects. Some looked like fruits, luminescent and softly pulsing with light. Others were small tools, made of a metal Eli didn't recognize, yet they seemed almost organic, as if they could think on their own. "These are incredible," Eli said, lifting one of the glowing fruits. It felt warm in his hand, soft yet firm. "What are they?" "They are called lumenberries," Lyra explained. "They help heal minor injuries. If someone has a cut or a scrape, the fruit can close it in moments." Eli's eyes widened. Such things were unheard of in human medicine. "That's amazing. You have incredible knowledge." Lyra tilted her head slightly, a small smile playing on her lips. "We learn from nature. Everything we make comes from what we understand about our world. My mother taught me to observe, to think carefully, and to respect what we don't yet understand." Eli was impressed. There was a quiet wisdom in the girl's words, far beyond what he had expected from someone so young. He gestured for her to follow him toward the trading hall. As they walked, Eli explained the rules of the outpost, the way trades were conducted, the importance of clear communication, and the methods humans used to ensure fairness. Lyra listened carefully, her large eyes tracking every movement. Occasionally, she asked a question not out of confusion but curiosity. "Why do humans value promises so much?" she asked. Eli smiled, considering. "Because without trust, we can't work together. Trade is more than goods. It's about believing the other person will do what they say." Lyra nodded thoughtfully. "On Vierlia, we value that too, but we also value understanding. We must know why someone promises something. That way, the promise is meaningful, not just words." Eli found himself nodding in agreement. He realized that, despite vast differences in species, some principles were universal. Honesty, respect, and curiosity, they bridged the gap between humans and Vierlians. When they reached the trading hall, other traders paused to look at Lyra. Some whispered, clearly skeptical. A small alien child was not what they expected. Eli, however, introduced her with care. "This is Lyra," he said. "She represents her mother in today's trade. Please treat her with the same respect you would any other trader." Some traders looked uncertain, but Lyra's presence had a quiet authority. She set up her small stall carefully, arranging her goods with precision. Every fruit, every tool, seemed to glow a little brighter in the sunlight that streamed through the hall. Eli watched as she demonstrated one of her tools, a small device that could detect ripeness in fruits without touching them. The device hovered slightly above the table, its sensors glowing as it hovered over the items. Other traders leaned in, murmuring in amazement. "This is clever," Eli said. "I've never seen anything like it." Lyra's smile was modest. "It is simple. My mother says simple solutions are often the best, but it is effective. That is what matters." The morning passed with small exchanges, traders asking questions, inspecting goods, and gradually warming to the idea of dealing with a child as their representative. Eli found himself drawn to Lyra's approach. She was patient, attentive, and thoughtful in every interaction. Even when someone tried to challenge her price, she remained calm, explaining her reasoning clearly. At one point, a human trader named Rena leaned over to Eli. "Are you sure about this? She's just a child." Eli shrugged. "She's more capable than most adults I know. Watch her. She's learning fast and she respects the process. That's more than some adults manage." Sure enough, Lyra handled a tricky situation with grace. A trader tried to undervalue her mother's tools, arguing that a human buyer would not understand their worth. Lyra paused, considered the offer, and then explained why the tools were made the way they were, why the materials were rare, and how they could benefit the user. She did it with clarity, patience, and no hint of anger. The trader, somewhat embarrassed, nodded and agreed to a fair deal. Eli felt a surge of admiration. The little girl had courage and intelligence, combined with a calmness that humans often spent years trying to cultivate. He realized that this small figure before him represented not just her mother, but the ingenuity and spirit of her entire species. By midday, Lyra had completed more successful trades than many adult merchants had that morning. Eli noticed the way she observed humans, not with fear, but with curiosity and respect. She asked about human tools, why certain materials were valued more than others, and even about simple things like food preferences and communication methods. Eli found himself explaining, not just because he wanted her to understand, but because he realized he enjoyed teaching her. There was a genuine exchange happening, a meeting of minds across species, bridged by curiosity and honesty. When the first trade was complete, Lyra packed her bag carefully. She paused to thank Eli. "You have helped me understand humans better. I hope I have helped you understand Virelians as well." Eli smiled. "You've done more than that. You've shown me that intelligence and integrity aren't measured by size or age. I think your mother would be very proud of you." Lyra's eyes sparkled with happiness. "Thank you. I hope to learn more. Maybe we can meet again soon and continue our exchange?" Eli nodded eagerly. "Absolutely, this is only the beginning." As she left the trading hall, Eli watched the little shuttle ascend toward the sky. The twin suns reflected off its hull, giving it a golden glow. For the first time, he felt a deep excitement about the possibilities the future might hold. Humans were explorers by nature, but it was moments like this, meeting a curious mind from another world, that reminded him of the true value of humanity, the ability to adapt, understand, and form meaningful connections. Even as the crowd returned to their usual routines, Eli knew this day would be remembered. A small alien girl had arrived alone, representing her mother, and in doing so, had changed the way humans and aliens might see each other. The sun began to set over Violia, casting a warm orange glow across the outpost. Eli cleaned his stall and packed away his notes, but his mind was still buzzing with thoughts. He imagined what Lyra's mother must be like, wise, patient, and insightful. He wondered what other tools, fruits, or inventions her people had yet to share. Most of all, he looked forward to learning more, not just about trade, but about the spirit of other civilizations. The galaxy was vast, and there were so many mysteries waiting to be explored. Yet today, in a quiet trading hall, he had learned one truth that would stay with him forever. Even the smallest visitor can leave the biggest impact. And so, as night fell over the outpost and stars began to twinkle in the Violia sky, Eli felt a spark of hope and excitement. The little alien girl had come alone, but she had brought with her the promise of friendship, understanding, and adventure. Tomorrow, the galaxy would seem a little smaller, a little brighter, and infinitely more full of possibilities. The next morning, the trading outpost stirred to life with the hum of activity. Traders moved briskly from stall to stall, inspecting goods, negotiating deals, and exchanging stories about the far reaches of the galaxy. Eli arrived early, eager to see if Lyra would return. He had spent the previous evening thinking about her, her curiosity, her intelligence, and the way she carried herself with confidence despite her youth. To his delight, Lyra appeared at the docking bay as the sun rose over Violia's horizon. She stepped down from her small shuttle, carrying her bag with the same care and precision as before. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. "Good morning, Eli," she said, her voice cheerful. I thought I would come early to learn more about humans and their trade methods. Eli smiled. I'm glad you're here. Today I want to show you more than just trade. I want you to see how humans think and work, how we solve problems, and how we try to help each other. Lyra tilted her head, intrigued. I am ready to learn. They walked through the outpost together, weaving between the stalls and observing the humans and aliens interacting. Eli explained the flow of commerce, how humans valued honesty, punctuality, and careful planning. He also showed her the importance of adaptability, demonstrating how traders adjusted when a shipment was delayed or a product's quality was questioned. Lyra listened carefully, absorbing every word. Occasionally, she asked questions that revealed a deeper understanding. Why do humans always seek to improve things? She asked. Your tools, your ships, your systems, you are never fully satisfied with what exists. Is it because you are never happy? Eli chuckled. Not unhappy, curious mostly. Humans want to understand, to explore, to make things better for themselves and others. We believe there is always something new to learn or create. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. That is very similar to Violia. We respect what is already known, but we are always seeking harmony with nature and efficiency in everything we do. Improvement is not for power or gain. It is for balance and understanding. Eli realized that, though their cultures were different, humans and Violians shared a similar drive to grow and learn. He admired how she could express such insight at her age. Next, Eli decided to show Lyra some human tools and devices. They stopped at a stall where humans sold mechanical devices, computers, and small robots that could assist with daily tasks. Eli picked up a small multi-tool. This is simple by human standards, he explained. It can repair machines, open containers, and even scan for basic information. Humans value versatility. Lyra's eyes widened as she examined it. She tapped lightly on its surface, and the tool reacted, lighting up in response. It adapts, she whispered. Like you said, versatility is key. We have devices like this too, but they are often specialized. Yours can do many things at once. Eli nodded. Exactly. Humans like to find solutions that can serve multiple purposes. It saves time and resources. Lyra then opened her bag and showed Eli a small device that seemed to float in midair. Its surface shimmered with tiny lights that moved like stars. This device measures the quality of plants and fruits, she explained. It can tell if a fruit is ripe, if a plant is healthy, or if it has the right nutrients. My mother designed it to help farmers and traders on Violia. Eli examined the device carefully. That's brilliant. Humans often rely on trial and error with plants. This could save a lot of time and prevent waste. Your people are very clever. Lyra smiled modestly. We learn by observing. We pay attention to what works and what does not. Humans, you do the same, but your methods are different. You experiment, test, and often make mistakes before you find the best way. It is exciting to watch. The two spent hours exploring each other's worlds. Eli showed Lyra simple machines humans used for construction, transportation, and communication. Lyra explained the natural techniques her people used to create similar results without harming their environment. They discovered surprising similarities. For instance, both humans and Violians had developed ways to store energy efficiently, though their methods were different. What I find fascinating, Eli said, is how much humans value collaboration. Even if someone makes a mistake, we try to help them fix it. We don't just punish errors, we teach, guide, and encourage learning. Lyra's eyes sparkled. That is beautiful. On Violia, we do the same. Mistakes are opportunities to understand, to grow. Perhaps that is why humans and Violians can learn from each other so easily. By mid-afternoon, they found a quiet corner in the trading hall and began a more focused exchange. Eli brought out small tools and charts to explain human trade systems, showing how prices were determined, how supply and demand worked, and how trust influenced every transaction. Lyra responded by demonstrating some of her people's unique approaches, devices that assessed quality instantly, simple calculations that predicted growth, and subtle sensors that ensured fairness. Eli was amazed at how intuitive her methods were. He realized that intelligence took many forms, and that Lyra's species had developed an elegant simplicity in their tools that humans often missed. Your methods are efficient, Eli admitted. Humans are good at complex systems, but your approach is elegant. Minimal effort, maximum understanding. I think we could learn a lot from each other. Lyra nodded. And humans teach me patience. You listen, ask questions, and experiment. It is not just about the result. It is about understanding the process. That is something my mother says is very human. The afternoon was also filled with playful experimentation. Eli and Lyra tested some of the fruits she brought, carefully noting their effects. A tiny cut on Eli's finger disappeared in moments when he pressed a lumenberry against it. He marveled at how quickly it worked. "This is incredible," he said. "It could help so many people. Humans value healing and care for each other. Your fruit embodies that perfectly." Lyra's smile widened. "Healing is a gift. We share it not for profit, but for the good of our community. My mother taught me that a gift becomes valuable only when it helps someone else." As the day went on, Eli noticed that the other traders began to respect Lyra even more. Her calm intelligence, combined with her curiosity and honesty, made her a natural presence. Even some of the initially skeptical traders approached her for advice or to understand her methods. By evening, the outpost was quiet again. Eli and Lyra sat near a window, watching Violea's twin suns set in brilliant hues of orange, pink, and purple. The sky reflected in Lyra's large, thoughtful eyes. "I have learned so much today," Lyra said softly. "Not only about humans, but about how we can work together. There is so much we do not know, and yet we can share knowledge and improve both our worlds." Eli nodded. "Exactly. That is the beauty of this exchange. We come from different places, but when we communicate and learn from each other, we can achieve amazing things. Your mother sent you here to trade, but you have given me more than that. You've shown me a new perspective." Lyra tilted her head, considering. "And you have shown me patience, care, and understanding. Humans value learning, and you embody it. Perhaps we can teach each other, not only for trade, but for friendship." Eli felt a warm glow in his chest. He realized that this little girl, representing her mother, had opened a door to a future full of possibilities. It was not just trade. It was collaboration, understanding, and mutual respect. As night fell, Eli helped Lyra prepare her shuttle for departure. They packed away the tools and fruits they had tested, making notes of their observations. Eli offered to guide her home, but Lyra shook her head politely. "I must return to my mother," she said. "But tomorrow I hope we can continue. There is still so much to learn." Eli smiled. "Tomorrow we will explore even more. Humans are curious by nature, and I think we can make a great team." Lyra waved as her shuttle lifted off, its soft hum fading into the quiet night. Eli stayed behind, watching until it disappeared among the stars. He felt a sense of hope and excitement that he had never known before. Today had been more than a day of trade. It had been a day of learning, understanding, and connection. Eli realized that in the vast galaxy, the smallest encounters could have the biggest impact. A little alien girl had arrived alone, carrying her mother's gifts, and had shown humans, and especially him, the power of curiosity, respect, and collaboration. And as he turned to leave the trading hall, Eli already began thinking about tomorrow. The galaxy was wide, full of mysteries and wonders, but with minds like Lyra's and the human spirit of exploration, there was no limit to what could be discovered and shared. For the first time, Eli truly believed that humans and Violians could learn from each other, and together, create a future brighter than any one world could achieve alone. The next morning, the trading outpost was alive with the familiar hum of activity. Humans and aliens moved between stalls, their conversations blending into a symphony of languages and laughter. Eli arrived early, eager to see Lyra again. He wondered what new lessons she might share, and how much more he could learn from her keen mind. As he approached the docking bay, Eli noticed her small shuttle already there. Lyra stepped out gracefully, her bag slung over her shoulder as always. Her large eyes sparkled with excitement, but there was also a hint of determination in her expression. "Good morning, Eli," she said warmly. "Today I hope we can complete more trades and perhaps explore some new ideas together." Eli smiled. "Absolutely, let's get started." They began by visiting several traders who had shown interest in Lyra's goods the day before. Eli noticed that people were already curious about what the young Violian might bring today. Some even whispered among themselves, clearly unsure about dealing with a child, while others looked genuinely intrigued. Lyra, however, remained calm. She had learned quickly from Eli how humans valued honesty and patience. She approached each stall with polite confidence, offering her products and explaining their uses. As they were discussing the lumenberries with a group of human traders, a newcomer arrived. He was taller, older, and carried an air of authority. His eyes swept across the trading hall, landing on Lyra and her stall. "I see a young trader is attempting to handle business here," he said, his tone sharp. "Do you understand the value of what you are selling, child?" Lyra looked up at him, unafraid. "I understand my mother's items. I also understand how to trade fairly and honestly. That is enough for me." The man raised an eyebrow. "Fairness is one thing, but profit is another. You will not survive here unless you know how to negotiate with strength." Eli stepped forward. "She knows how to negotiate and she understands fairness. That is why she is representing her mother." The man scoffed. "A child representing a merchant? How amusing. I will teach her a lesson in the way trade really works." Eli felt a pang of concern but noticed Lyra's steady gaze. She did not look afraid. Instead, she seemed ready for a challenge. "Very well," she said quietly. "I will listen and respond. I hope we can learn from each other." The man smirked and began undervaluing her mother's goods, pointing out flaws that didn't exist and exaggerating minor imperfections. Other traders watched, some curious, some skeptical, as Lyra remained calm. She examined the items carefully, then explained their qualities in clear, simple terms. "These tools are designed to last for decades," she said. "The materials are rare, harvested carefully to avoid harm to the environment. Each piece is tested for quality and every function has a purpose. The value is fair and reflects the effort and care involved." The man laughed, dismissing her explanation. "A child's words mean nothing. Give me a better deal or leave this stall." Lyra paused for a moment, considering. Then she did something unexpected. She combined human logic with Vyerlian reasoning. She compared the costs of production, the benefits to the buyer, and the rarity of the materials. She even demonstrated one of the tools, showing how it could solve a problem faster than a standard human tool. The demonstration captured the attention of the other traders. They began nodding and murmuring in agreement. Eli noticed that the man's confident expression began to falter. You are clever," he said finally, grudgingly. "But cleverness alone will not win the day." Lyra smiled softly. "Cleverness alone is not needed. Understanding, fairness, and patience are what truly matter. That is why I am here, to represent my mother honestly and respectfully." The man frowned, clearly frustrated that his usual tactics were ineffective. Eli stepped forward again, offering support. "Humans value honesty and intelligence. Lyra has both in abundance. You should listen carefully. You may learn something." Other traders began to speak up, praising Lyra's approach. Some offered small adjustments to prices to reflect the true value of the goods, reinforcing her argument. Slowly, the man realized that she was not just a child. She was a formidable negotiator with a clear understanding of trade and fairness. Finally, he sighed and stepped back. "Very well. Your prices are fair. I see that you have more skill than I expected." Lyra nodded politely. "Thank you. I hope we can all continue to learn from each other in the future." Eli felt a wave of pride. Lyra had faced a significant challenge, yet she had remained calm, logical, and respectful. She had proven that age or size did not define capability. Intelligence, patience, and understanding did. After the challenge, Eli and Lyra took a moment to sit and reflect. The outpost was quieter now, with traders resuming their routines. "You handled that very well," Eli said. "Most adults would have panicked or reacted angrily." Lyra shrugged gently. "I do not need to react with anger. My mother taught me that patience and clarity are stronger than force. Words and actions, when used carefully, can solve most problems." Eli nodded, realizing how much he could learn from her. "Humans sometimes forget that. We rush, we argue, and we assume strength comes from power or size. But you have reminded me of the value of calm and reasoning." Lyra smiled. "And humans have reminded me of persistence. You do not give up easily and you help others understand. That is admirable." The afternoon brought new opportunities. Eli showed Lyra more complex human tools and trading methods, explaining how humans tracked inventory, assessed risks, and predicted market trends. Lyra absorbed everything quickly, occasionally offering suggestions from her own experience. For instance, when Eli demonstrated a simple algorithm for calculating supply and demand, Lyra suggested a small adjustment that accounted for environmental factors on her planet. Her input improved the calculation, and Eli was impressed. "You see," she said with a small smile, We can improve together. Humans bring curiosity and creativity. Violians bring precision and harmony. Together we can create better solutions. Eli felt inspired. He realized that collaboration between species could achieve incredible things. The galaxy was vast and complex, but by combining knowledge, patience, and understanding, they could navigate challenges successfully. As the sun began to set over Violia, Eli and Lyra decided to explore a quieter part of the outpost. They walked along a pathway overlooking the planet's lush forests and sparkling rivers. The twin suns cast golden and pink reflections over the landscape, making it appear almost magical. Lyra pointed to a cluster of buildings in the distance. On Violia, we value observation, she explained. We watch, we listen, and we think carefully before acting. Humans, you observe too, but in a different way. You learn through interaction and experimentation. Both ways are valuable. Eli nodded. That's true. Humans often learn by doing, by testing ideas and learning from mistakes. But we also need guidance and careful thought, lessons I think you have taught me today. Lyra giggled softly. And you have taught me the same. Trade is not just exchanging items, it is exchanging knowledge, understanding, and respect. As darkness settled over the outpost, a gentle breeze passed through, carrying the scents of alien flowers and the faint hum of the shuttle engines. Eli realized that today had been more than just a challenge in trade. It had been a lesson in cooperation, courage, and respect. Lyra's small stature and young age had initially caused some humans to doubt her, but she had shown that wisdom and intelligence were not measured by size or years. Eli felt a deep sense of pride in knowing he had witnessed such an inspiring example. Before parting ways for the night, Eli asked, "Will you return tomorrow? I think there is more we can explore together." Lyra nodded eagerly. "Yes, tomorrow I hope to learn more about humans and perhaps we can teach them a little more about Violia too." Eli smiled, feeling a renewed excitement about the future. Then tomorrow will be another day of discovery. Together we will learn, share, and grow. As Lyra's shuttle lifted off into the starlit sky, Eli watched it disappear among the stars. The challenge of the day had been met with grace and intelligence, and he knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and adventures, but humans, with their curiosity, adaptability, and empathy, could make a difference anywhere. And in that moment, Eli understood something important. Strength is not always measured in force or authority. Sometimes it is measured in patience, understanding, and the courage to act with honesty. The stars above Violia seemed brighter than ever, as if echoing the promise of new friendships, discoveries, and the remarkable journeys that lay ahead for both humans and Violians. Eli went to bed that night with a sense of purpose. He knew that tomorrow would bring more challenges, more learning, and more opportunities to prove that humanity's spirit could shine brightly across the galaxy. The morning sun rose over the trading outpost, casting golden light across the bustling hall. Humans and aliens were already busy arranging goods, preparing for another day of trade. Eli arrived early, carrying a sense of excitement he could hardly contain. The previous days had been extraordinary, but he felt that something even more remarkable might happen today. Lyra's small shuttle touched down smoothly, and the little girl stepped out with her usual confident grace. Her luminous skin shimmered faintly in the sunlight, and her large, curious eyes scanned the outpost as if she were already analyzing everything. Eli approached her with a smile. "Good morning, Lyra," he said. "Are you ready for another day of exploration and learning?" Lyra nodded eagerly. "Yes, Eli, today I think we may find something important. My mother sent a message with a device she asked me to test while here." Intrigued, Eli followed her to a quiet corner of the hall. Lyra carefully removed a small, rectangular device from her bag. It was unlike anything Eli had seen before. Its surface shimmered with a faint, holographic glow, and tiny lights flickered across it as if it were alive. "This device contains a map of Violia and nearby star systems," Lyra explained. "It shows regions my people have explored and others we have avoided because they are dangerous." She tapped the surface lightly, and a holographic map sprang to life, hovering above the device. Stars, planets, and space routes glowed in miniature, shifting as she moved her fingers. Eli leaned closer, astonished. "This is incredible. You can see entire star systems in one view and it's interactive. Your mother must be a brilliant scientist." Lyra nodded. "She is." and she believes that humans and Violians can work together to explore safely. This device is meant to help us understand and plan so we can avoid dangers while discovering valuable resources. Eli felt a surge of excitement. Humans were naturally curious and resourceful, always seeking to explore and understand new worlds. With Lyra's guidance and the Violian technology, they could venture into places that had seemed unreachable before. "Show me," he said. "Let's see what we can learn from this map." Lyra tapped the device again, zooming in on a cluster of unexplored star systems. Eli noticed small symbols indicating energy fields, dense asteroid clusters, and unusual atmospheric conditions. "These areas are rich in resources," Lyra explained. "But they are also risky. On Violia, we avoid them because a miscalculation can be dangerous. Humans, you are brave. You might find ways to navigate safely." Eli studied the map, thinking carefully. "If we combine Violian knowledge and human ingenuity, we could develop tools and methods to explore these areas safely. We could collect valuable resources and learn more about the galaxy without putting anyone at risk." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "That is exactly what my mother hopes for. Humans and Violians together. We respect each other's strengths, and we can achieve things neither of us could alone." The two spent hours examining the map, discussing strategies, and imagining the possibilities. Eli suggested using small drones to scout dangerous areas, while Lyra demonstrated how her people's sensors could detect energy fluctuations and environmental hazards. They realized that their combined skills could create a safe, efficient method of exploration. As they worked, a few curious traders gathered nearby. They watched the holographic map with fascination, whispering among themselves. One human trader approached cautiously. "This is impressive," he said. "I've never seen anything like it." "How do you know these areas are safe or unsafe?" Lyra explained patiently. "The device shows data collected over generations. It records environmental patterns, energy readings, and natural hazards. It is meant to guide explorers, not to guarantee safety." "Caution and planning are still necessary," Eli added, "and that's where humans come in. We can analyze data, create strategies, and develop tools to navigate these regions. By working together, we increase the chances of success." The trader nodded slowly, clearly impressed. "I see, this could change the way trade and exploration are done in the galaxy." Lyra smiled. "That is the hope. Knowledge is valuable, but sharing it responsibly is even more important. We want to explore, learn, and help, not cause harm." Eli realized how much they could accomplish if more humans and Violians cooperated. The galaxy was full of mysteries and opportunities, but fear and misunderstanding often held explorers back. By combining their knowledge, they could overcome challenges that neither species could face alone. As they continued to study the map, Lyra pointed to a region near a dense asteroid field. "This area has not been explored because it is unstable. But the resources there are rare and valuable. My mother believes it could benefit both our peoples if approached carefully." Eli's mind raced with ideas. "We could send unmanned drones first, equipped with Violian sensors and human navigational systems. Once we gather enough data, we could plan a safe mission with experienced crews. No one has to risk their life unnecessarily." Lyra clapped her small hands together with excitement. "That is perfect. Humans think differently than Violians, but your methods complement ours. Together, we can achieve balance between caution and exploration." The day passed quickly as Eli and Lyra worked side by side, sketching strategies, testing small devices, and imagining what they might discover. Eli explained human methods of resource management, mapping, and data collection, while Lyra shared Violian techniques for environmental observation, energy reading, and precision analysis. By mid-afternoon, they had developed a preliminary plan for safe exploration. It included unmanned drones, energy sensors, environmental shields, and communication networks to monitor progress in real time. Eli felt a sense of pride and excitement. They were building something truly innovative. Lyra's enthusiasm was contagious. "We should present this plan to the other traders," she said. "They may not have tried such cooperation before, but they will see the benefits." Eli agreed. Together, they demonstrated the plan to a small group of human and alien traders. Using a miniature holographic model, Lyra showed how drones could navigate asteroid fields, detect energy fluctuations, and avoid dangerous zones. Eli explained how humans could program the drones, interpret the data, and plan future missions. The traders were amazed. Some had never considered combining human and Virelian knowledge so directly. Murmurs of excitement filled the hall as more people gathered to watch the demonstration. "This is brilliant," one trader said. "If this works, it could revolutionize exploration and trade in the galaxy. It's safe, efficient, and innovative." Lyra bowed slightly. "Thank you, but it is not just about innovation. It is about respect, trust, and understanding. Humans and Virelians together can create a better future." Eli felt a surge of pride. Lyra had once again demonstrated the power of patience, intelligence, and collaboration. Her small stature had never limited her ability to inspire and lead. He realized that the galaxy was full of potential, waiting for humans and aliens to discover it together. As the sun began to set, Eli and Lyra packed away their demonstration materials. The outpost glowed with the soft light of evening, and stars began to appear in the sky above Virelia. "Today was extraordinary," Eli said. "We've learned so much, and we've created a plan that could change the future of exploration." Lyra nodded. "And it shows what can happen when we work together. Humans bring curiosity and creativity. Virelians bring precision and observation. Together, we are stronger than alone." Eli smiled. "Exactly, and tomorrow, who knows what new discoveries we will make." Lyra's eyes sparkled with anticipation. "Tomorrow is another opportunity to learn, explore, and share, and I am ready." As Lyra prepared her shuttle for the journey home, Eli watched with a sense of hope and excitement. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges and wonders, but with intelligence, cooperation, and respect, humans and Virelians could achieve amazing things together. And as her shuttle disappeared among the stars, Eli realized a profound truth. The most important discoveries were not always about resources or technology. They were about friendship, understanding, and the courage to work together. The night sky over Virelia seemed to shine brighter than ever, as if reflecting the promise of the future. Eli went to bed that night feeling inspired, knowing that the next day would bring more learning, more cooperation, and perhaps even the first steps toward exploring the unknown regions of the galaxy. The partnership between a young human trader and a small Virelian girl had begun, and already it was changing the way two worlds might see each other, and the universe itself. The next morning, the trading outpost buzzed with excitement. Word had spread quickly about the partnership between Eli and Lyra. Traders from nearby star systems had gathered to see the young Virelian girl and the human working together. The outpost, usually calm and orderly, was now filled with anticipation, curiosity, and a sense of something extraordinary in the making. Eli arrived first, preparing his stall and organizing the tools and notes they had used for their exploration planning. His mind was focused but eager. He knew that today might bring the first practical test of their combined knowledge. Lyra's shuttle touched down smoothly, and she stepped out with her usual calm confidence. Her glowing skin reflected the morning sun, and her eyes were full of determination. She carried her bag carefully, as always, and moved with a sense of purpose beyond her small stature. "Good morning, Eli," she said cheerfully. "I am ready to continue our work. Today we can take our ideas further." Eli smiled. "Good morning, Lyra. Today we'll see how our plans hold up when put into action. Are you ready?" Lyra nodded eagerly. "I am." They began by revisiting the regions marked on her holographic map the previous day. Using miniature drones equipped with Virelian sensors and human programming, they conducted initial tests. The drones floated silently above the trading outpost, mapping energy fields, detecting obstacles, and scanning for environmental data. Eli guided the drones, carefully analyzing the data as it streamed back. Lyra observed the readings, comparing them to the information stored in her device. Their combined efforts allowed them to identify safe pathways and potential hazards with remarkable precision. "This is working perfectly," Eli said, impressed. "We're seeing exactly what my calculations predicted, and your sensors are providing details I could never have imagined." Lyra smiled. "And your guidance ensures that the data is interpreted correctly." Together, humans and Virelians create solutions neither could achieve alone. As they worked, other traders gathered to watch. Some approached hesitantly, while others asked questions, curious about the process. Lyra explained patiently, showing them how the drones worked, how to read the sensor data, and how to plan missions safely. Eli added human insight, showing them how to adapt when unexpected challenges arose. One human trader, impressed by their coordination, said, "I've never seen such teamwork. It's incredible that a child and an adult can work together so effectively." Lyra nodded politely. Intelligence and understanding are not limited by age or size. We all have strengths to share. The day grew busier as Eli and Lyra decided to test the drones in a small, nearby asteroid field. Using the data they had collected, they navigated the drones through narrow passages and around floating rocks. The sensors detected energy fluctuations and minor debris, allowing Eli to adjust their paths in real time. Lyra guided the drones' sensors with precision, highlighting areas where resources could be harvested safely. Together, they identified small deposits of rare minerals and energy-rich crystals. The process was methodical, careful, and efficient, demonstrating the power of combining human creativity with Viorlian precision. "This is incredible," Eli said, watching the data display. "We've identified resources that could benefit both our peoples, and we've done it without risking anyone's safety." Lyra nodded. "And we've proven that cooperation works. Humans and Viorlians can explore safely, learn from each other, and achieve more than either could alone." As the sun began to set over Viorlia, Eli and Lyra returned the drones to the outpost. Traders applauded their success, and several expressed interest in using the combined methods for future exploration and trade. The little Viorlian girl had not only demonstrated the value of her mother's knowledge, but had also inspired a sense of hope and possibility throughout the outpost. After the demonstration, Eli and Lyra sat together near the edge of the trading hall, overlooking the planet's forests and rivers. The twin suns bathed the landscape in warm light, and the stars began to emerge one by one in the deepening sky. "Today was remarkable," Eli said softly. "We've proven that humans and Viorlians can work together to explore safely, learn new things, and help each other." Lyra smiled. "Yes, and it is only the beginning. There is still so much to discover, so many challenges to overcome, and so many opportunities to share knowledge. Together, we can achieve anything." Eli nodded. "I've learned so much from you. Your calmness, patience, and insight remind me that strength is not always about power. It's about understanding and working together." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "And I have learned from humans too. Your curiosity, creativity, and persistence are inspiring. We Viorlians have much to learn from your ways, just as humans have much to learn from ours." They talked long into the evening, sharing stories of their worlds, their people, and their dreams for the future. Eli realized that Lyra's presence had changed more than just trade practices. She had brought a sense of unity, cooperation, and shared purpose that could shape the galaxy in ways no one had imagined. Before parting for the night, Lyra packed her bag carefully. "I must return to my mother," she said, "but tomorrow we will continue. There is still so much to learn and explore." Eli smiled. "And I look forward to it. Together we can accomplish things that neither of us could do alone." As Lyra's shuttle lifted off into the night sky, Eli watched until it disappeared among the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders, challenges, and mysteries, but he felt a deep sense of hope. Humans, with their curiosity, adaptability, and courage, could make a meaningful difference wherever they went. The outpost grew quiet again, but Eli's mind was alive with possibilities. The maps, the drones, and the discoveries they had made today were only the beginning. He imagined future missions, new collaborations, and the friendships that could form between humans and Viorlians. In the days that followed, Eli and Lyra continued their work. They refined their methods, tested new devices, and shared knowledge with traders from other star systems. Each day brought new lessons, new discoveries, and new opportunities to strengthen the bond between their peoples. Eli often reflected on the journey that had brought them together. A small alien girl had arrived alone, carrying her mother's gifts and wisdom. She had faced challenges with courage, solved problems with intelligence, and inspired humans and aliens alike with her calm determination. Lyra, in turn, had learned from humans the value of persistence, creativity, and experimentation. She had seen how humans approached challenges with curiosity and optimism, and how they were willing to help each other succeed. Together, they had created a partnership built on mutual respect, shared knowledge, and a desire to explore and improve the galaxy. And in doing so, they had demonstrated the essence of the HFY spirit, humanity's ability to adapt, understand, and make a positive impact, no matter the circumstances. One evening, as the twin suns of Violia set, casting their golden glow over the planet, Eli and Lyra stood together on a viewing platform. The sky was filled with stars, each one a potential world, a potential adventure, a potential friend. "We have come far," Eli said quietly, "but the journey is only beginning. The galaxy is waiting, and there is so much more to discover." Lyra nodded. "And we will face it together. Humans and Violians learning, exploring, and helping each other. The future is bright." Eli smiled, feeling a sense of pride and hope. "Yes, and one day when others see what we've achieved, they will understand the value of cooperation, intelligence, and kindness. They will see that humans, when they work with courage and understanding, can truly shine." Lyra reached out and placed a small hand on Eli's. "And we will continue, not just for ourselves, but for our peoples, for the galaxy. Together, we can make a difference." As they stood there, watching the stars twinkle above, Eli knew that this was a new beginning. The trading outpost had been just the start, the first step in a journey that would take them to unexplored worlds, teach them countless lessons, and form bonds that would last across light years. In that moment, the little alien girl and the young human trader realized something profound. It is not size, age, or strength that defines the impact one can make, but courage, intelligence, and the willingness to work together for a better future. And so, under the vast sky of Violia, with the twin suns now hidden beyond the horizon, Eli and Lyra embraced the adventure ahead. The galaxy was wide and full of mysteries, but with their partnership, they knew that humanity's spirit could illuminate even the darkest corners of space. The future awaited, bright and full of possibility. And together they would meet it, with courage, curiosity, and hearts open to discovery.